All right, so day number 2 of this vlog series, and just to start it off, already having a few challenges. First of all, this is the second recording because the first one didn't work. When I went home, when I put the SD card in the MacBook, it just corrupted it, because I was using some kind of USB filter and yeah, it didn't work. So that video, which I shot earlier, was a waste of time. But this is what happens, right? Like, even when you do YouTube videos with scripts and everything, sometimes you forget to press the record button, or you change the setting. And because of that setting, it's in slow motion or there's no sound. So get used to it. Get used to it. This is why you can keep listening to the series, because there's always going to be a challenge. And just to give you some context, I just went off a call that was pretty short, I would say. I think it was, 30 minutes with a guy that paid for a Google Ads service, and he got kind of ghosted, like not scammed, because I think the guy set up his Google Ads and everything, but then he didn't respond. So this is the competition you're going against. It's like people who don't even want to work for money. Like, I don't know if that guy is alive. It's a guy called, I think, Dominic, whatever. And yeah, he just didn't respond. He got the invoice, but then he didn't do anything. So it's like very strange. However, what I wanted to say is that in this video, I want to focus on the fact that the first money that you make online is game changing. And that is for a couple of reasons. I just had a call earlier with my team, and we usually have some questions and answers on Mondays. And one of the questions was, what are you proud of for this year, 2024? And one of the answers was the fact that that person got to work online. And it was such a sweet answer, because sometimes we forget how important this is, to actually have the freedom to work from home, to have the freedom of not having office politics, of not worrying about, is my skirt way too long, and so on. Of course, I don't wear skirts, so I don't know about that, but you know what I mean. Is my hair looking good? Did I use perfume? Is that person working enough? It's like so much waste of energy and time. But let me come back to the fact that usually that mindset shift with working online comes after a few key moments. And I can tell you one that happened for me around 6 years ago. That's when I would say I made my first money online that to some extent changed my mindset, because it wasn't just the amount of money, which was around 1K, but I did start initially. So let me tell you the story. I did start on Upwork. That's where I found some gigs that were paying $200, $300, and they went well, but it's like you get paid maybe $5 an hour if you actually do the math and take into account how much it takes to communicate before actually accepting that gig, and then completing the work, and then presenting it, and then revisions and so on. So a bunch of work, right? That's why recurring revenue is so important nowadays. That's why that's what I'm doing. Usually retainers with e-com brands, and it works pretty well. Of course, not everyone's favorite model, not even my own. Like, it has its challenges, but you get good at what you practice. And coming back to that story, so what's interesting is that I found a project that didn't have any price on it, right? So I didn't know what to expect. Was it $200, $300, $400? I had no idea. And that guy that wanted help with marketing actually started communicating with me, and I think he was in software. And 6 years ago, he was probably making 100K or 150K. And why am I saying that he was making that amount? Because when he asked me for a price, I knew that ideally you always negotiate. You always try to find where the other person is in terms of like their their range, right? How do they think of money? Do they think in terms of per hour, per project, per result? And I actually asked him this question: what would be a fair price for you for 1 week of work? And when I said 1 week of work, we didn't even talk really about hours. It was, I think, maybe 20 hours of work or something like that, just as an estimate. And he said as a price point, and let me actually tell you the question. So I asked him, what would be a fair price, right? So I used the word fair, which means that it's something that we could both agree on. And he said $1,000. And that was the first time when my mindset shifted. When someone said $1,000 per week and not for full time, you know? And that's because in my native country, Romania, I think at that point, the average salary for 1 month for full time was probably $800, around that range, maybe even less, $700. And when that guy told me 1K, that was like a light bulb switched in my mind. Because then I was already starting to do math in my head. I was thinking, all right, so if I do 1K a month, 1K a week for the next 52 weeks, that's 52K per year, which was and still is, right, for many, many people in most of Europe, in Eastern Europe, in India, in Asia, right? It's a lot of money. And these are moments when your mindset is starting to change, right? Realizing that it's not just about the time, right? Sometimes it's about the results and the project you're working with. Actually, the project you're working on. Because if you're working on an important project, it's actually pretty normal to get paid more, right? So this is where many people say that life is unfair and so on, but it's just the value. If you're offering a value, or if you're offering a 1% improvement for someone who makes 1 million a month, right? That's 10K, right? But if you offer someone who makes 10K a month a 50% improvement, that's 5K. So it's less, right? So this is where it's super important to think of the opportunities you're going after. And I'm just an online guy, honestly. I'm just a chill guy. If you're around this meme world space right now, and you know it's a very popular one. But yeah, you have to realize that most of us do have to shift our work over time. That's why you even see myself filming right now. It's because I believe at least one person in this world, even if that person is me from the past, would benefit from listening to this type of videos and just getting a mindset shift, because we always need that, right? Even if you make 10K, 20K, 50, 100K a month eventually, even at those levels, you actually still need other people who make more, and there's always someone making more. So it's not as much about, let's say, winning once and then chilling for the rest of your life, but more so actually growing over time, right? So there's no point at which you say, all right, I've won the game, right? Because even if you have all the money in the world, then the question is, what are you going to do? Are you going out for a walk every day? Are you hanging out with a specific person or group of people? So there's always something that you'll have to think about. So money isn't the answer, but it's definitely easier online. So that's why I wanted to bring up how I initially started to to make some money online, and then it did become addictive. And you also have freedom. And I don't know about you, but I still haven't found any person that doesn't like freedom. Maybe there are a few exceptions here and there, but in most cases, there's a role online that you'll like, be it sales, be it marketing, creatives, project management, so many. And I think with that, I'll end because I need to go home, do some work. There are multiple brands, basically right now, probably spending more than 10K a day. So every hour means money. And I really want to be cognizant of that ad budget because it's not just me here. It's businesses, it's people, and yeah, when you get more responsibility, you do grow. There was actually a saying that you aren't necessarily like a grown up based on age, but more so based on the responsibility that you take. So, with that being said, we'll see each other tomorrow if you are still around. And yep, basically, see you then. Bye.